Welcome back to UK Homicide. At 7 p.m. on March 27, 1971, an off-duty officer named David Nathan was walking near an abandoned flint mill in Burton-on-Trent, Staffordshire, in an area accessible by a locked gate or a long walk down a narrow lane. He tripped on what looked like a bag of cement poking up from the ground, but on closer examination, found it was the top of a skull. Because the head was the first thing uncovered, the victim was given the unenviable name of Fred the Head.
In 1971, on the banks of the River Trent in Staffordshire, an off-duty police officer made a gruesome discovery. A makeshift grave containing human remains. Dubbed Fred the Head by the media, both the circumstances around the man's death and his identity were a mystery. But police believed he'd been murdered.
Chief Superintendent Harold Wright said at the time, "We have located a skull and the top part of a torso, but we do not know yet if there is a complete body or whether it is in a standing, sitting, or lying position." There were many distinguishing and strange findings when the rest of Fred's body was exposed. He was in a 4-foot-deep grave in a kneeling position. He had upper dentures and extensive dental work. His lower jaw was said to be prominent, and his neck lay to the right side. He was naked apart from a pair of pink socks with a beige heel and toe and a lady's 9-carat gold wedding band on the ring finger of his right hand. The socks were traced back to a Burton Market stall. The ring was manufactured between 1967 and 1968 and was one of 5,000 made. His wrists and ankles had been bound behind his back. The police described him as someone who took care of himself. His nails and small hands were well maintained. He also had a short haircut, which was unusual at this time. They estimated that the body was that of a white man aged between 23 and 39 and around 5 feet 8 inches.
We believe the victim was a white male, aged between 23 to 39 years of age, around 5'8" in height with short reddish-brown hair. We know he had extensive dental work completed at some point in his life, and that he had a protruding bottom lip or underbite and some sort of slight deformity to his neck, which would have caused a tilt to one side.
Limited forensics put the time of death as 1971 and his time in the ground as 9 to 18 months. In a bid to gain justice for Fred, and when technology had advanced, he became one of the first people in the UK to have facial reconstruction and an e-fit drawing. DNA was extracted in case a comparison was needed.
He got a DNA profile from the skull and turned to leading forensic artists to get a better idea of what he may have looked like. Professor Caroline Wilkinson from Liverpool John Moores University used specialist software to create a 3D likeness of his face.
So in this case, we had this 3-dimensional surface scan of the individual skull. We can use tissue depth pegs appropriate to his white European ancestry, muscle structure based on what we know about the muscle attachments, and can predict facial features based on assessment of the bony material.
Creating a fully rendered face.
Despite all these attempts at identification, no one was reported missing, and the case, led by DCI Peter Ho, went cold.
DCI Peter Huff was the original detective on the case.
There was a lady's 9-carat gold wedding ring on the right ring finger. It was a small one. He was bound hand and foot with a durable polypropylene twine, which is used in industry.
In 2014, University of Derby testing concluded that Fred was of Danish or Hungarian heritage. His wedding ring on his right hand supports this. In June 2017, Staffordshire Police became only the second force to use familial DNA analysis. This did not provide any new leads. There was renewed interest in Fred the Head when the case was featured on BBC's 2017 Crime Watch Roadshow.
Staffordshire Police are still investigating this case.
I've took over this investigation around 2017. The body was originally recovered in 1971. Across the water from me here is actually where Fred was found. The area has changed massively in the last 50 years. There used to be a footbridge here, which has since gone. The area where Fred's body was is now heavily overgrown and hard to get to. I think anybody that would have been known to Fred is now going to be coming of an age in their 70s and 80s. This really, for me, is our last chance really to try and understand what's gone on, put closure to it.
Under DCI Dan Ison, additional facial reconstruction techniques had been used to get an even more accurate picture of Fred's appearance when alive, and the original investigator from 1971, DCI Ho, appeared.
In 2017, Crime Watch interviewed DCI Huff at his home.
Every effort was put in to identifying that body. Well, it was a big mystery at the time and a baffling case of failure to identify. It's never been out of my mind after all these years, but I'm still optimistic.
As a direct result, a man got in touch, stating his brother, John Henry Jones, had gone missing in Wales in 1970. Hope was raised when the dental records appeared similar, but after further testing, his DNA was not a match.
We did have some leads around the DNA, the familial DNA, which took us to North Wales, where we believe there was a long-standing missing person there who may well have been Fred. However, sadly, that wasn't the case.
The last development in this case came in April 2023, when amateur sleuths believed they had solved the riddle. They believed Fred was a man called John Gick, who vanished in February 1969. Gick had traveled to Liverpool from the Isle of Man for a scouting event. He left the scout group with a friend to attend an unknown appointment, saying he would return at 6:40 p.m. He visited friends that day, leaving at 4 p.m., and at 5 p.m., he was attacked by a group of youths in a toilet. His van was found abandoned in Liverpool, but there has been no trace of him since, and the dates of his disappearance and the murder of Fred matched up. At the time, police confirmed that they had received the information, but Fred has yet to be identified. Staffordshire police spokesperson said, "We can confirm that this has been reported to us, and we will be in touch with Mr. Davies to discuss the information he has provided. The matter is thus subject to periodical reviews to establish if any new lines of inquiry can be pursued." It's incredible that a 54-year-old murder that has had so much attention and forensic analysis remains unsolved. This case remains open, and there is still hope that Fred will get the justice he deserves and can return to his family. Many thanks for listening. Take care, and I'll see you in the next case.